The Smiling Stallion Inn, Legends of Aria, Volume 1. Aria, a land of rocky shores, myths and legends, mist and magic, mystery and music. Aria, a song that is both familiar and unfamiliar to you. It bears you to the surface and moves you to the depths of your being, as the woman stands alone at the center of the stage, singing her heart out to you for one brief yet long moment in the middle of the chaos that is the opera of life. Part 1. The Militia Tryouts. Chapter 1. On the Threshold. Marry me, my dear, and I will give you a bed of roses to sleep on. Marry me, my dear, and I will give you the dreams we have to share. Marry me, my dear, and you will know only happiness. Love song from Mirandor. You could wait, you know, Oaka said to Basha a month after Basha's birthday. When stretched out on his back, Oaka was a tall, thin young man, half dressed in a linen shirt, and breeches with his hands tucked underneath his tousled black hair. He didn't seem to want to move out of bed, a little lazy this morning. Wait for what? Basha snapped, feeling nervous. He was already up, getting dressed in his freshest, finest clothes. A small bouquet of flowers lay on top of the armoire, just waiting for his hands to hold and carry them to Jawan. Milla be praised that there were flowers already blooming this season, although they were weak. New blossoms did not have the same strength and beauty that later flowers did. Yet he already knew what his older brother was going to say even before Oaka brought it up. To propose to Jawan. A few more years you both might be ready. I'm not going to wait a few more years, Basha said, fixing up the tie around his neck and checking his reflection in the small mirror hanging on the door of the armoire. He sighed himself, and Jawan will be ready tomorrow. I know it. You don't know that for sure, Oaka remarked. If I wait, I might lose the chance to marry Jawan. He turned around to face Oaka, a little fed up with his brother's criticisms, but to save on time so that he wouldn't be delayed with another long argument with Oaka over Jawan, he explained, if I wait, she might marry somebody else. What is the matter with you? What? Oaka asked. Right now his eyes seemed to be glazed over with fear and happiness, an odd combination. Are you nervous? Basha asked. Why should I be? Oaka asked, as he stared up at the ceiling's wood beams with a half smile, half grimace frozen on his face. Apart from the big day tomorrow, he fidgeted a little bit. Besides the tartness in his voice and the look in his big green eyes, he otherwise had an easy demeanor visible in his body. Oaka was always at ease, like a cat after a kill. You going to ask for Sisela tomorrow? Basha asked, wondering if something else was amiss with Oaka. Yes, of course I will. Who else would I ask for? Oaka asked, and then inhaled sharply, sitting up in bed. You don't know that she will marry somebody else. She is one of the most desirable girls in town, Basha sighed, and turned back to the armoire, picking out the waistcoat and slipping his arms into the armholes. As the merchant's oldest daughter, she's going to have a whole slew of bulls wanting to marry her for her father's wealth and position, most notably Hostin. Who would want to marry John and get Lapo for their father-in-law? Oaka cringed. Not even Hostin would be so desperate, I think. The man is a cheat, no matter how much wealth or power he possesses. Father said so, so who would want that? Careful what you say, Oaka, Basha said, raising a finger to his older brother as he pulled the waistcoat across his chest and started buttoning it up. That man, who is a cheat, is also Jawan's father, and he might be my future father-in-law if she likes me well enough to want to marry me. Which is a big if, in my opinion, Oaka muttered. Shut up, Oaka cried, and then sighed as he realized that he wasn't at all surprised by Oaka's response. Don't you care enough about me, Oaka, to at least stop criticizing me all the time? What are you talking about, Basha? I don't criticize you all the time, Oaka said, grimacing and smiling at the same time. I don't want your opinion if you're not going to be helpful. Why are you so against me and Jawan? Because she's not right for you, Basha, Oaka insisted. Then who is right for me, Basha asked. Because I don't see a whole lot of girls lining up to pound on the door of the inn so that I can woo them and offer them. Well, what can I offer them? Yourself, Oaka said begrudgingly. So how much is that worth in the great big scheme of things, he sighed and continued. Lapo's wealth and power don't matter much to me, yet I can't compete with what Lapo offers his daughter in terms of financial security, and I certainly can't compete with what those other boys are going to offer her in terms of looks and prospects. He turned and solemnly appraised himself in the mirror, with the waistcoat on, making a rather unimpressive figure in his own mind when compared to some of the other boys in town, like Hostin and even Oaka. He could hardly be called homely, yet he wasn't exactly handsome. His body was of a medium build, not athletic, not fat, not too tall, and not too short, but just average, with some muscles in his arms and legs from working out in the fields and training to fight with a sword. He couldn't be said to be the striking model of a hero, not like one of the ancient knights of Arya, who had faced the evil of Dumba. He was just himself, and that was all he had, which frightened him most of all. What was he worth to Jarwin? Was he enough? Oaka hemmed and hawed a bit, as if he wanted to say something else just before Basha left to see Jarwin, but Basha said, "You know it's true, Oaka. You're going to inherit the inn. There's nothing else for me. You're the oldest and the true-born son of our parents, and it all passes down to you by rights, whereas I, on the other hand, have no real parents or family to call my own. Just my mother, Kala, who died giving birth to me," he sighed. "She left me with nothing of my own, nothing to inherit from her. I have food, family, and shelter, but that's all because of your parents, not mine." "Basha, it's not that bad," Oaka said. "I'm sorry, Oaka, I am, but it's the truth as Lapo sees it, the truth as everybody else in town sees it. But we are a family, I know. We are a family by choice, not by rights," Basha said, repeating a phrase that his adoptive mother had uttered to cheer him up the first time she had told him, and many times after. "You might support me if I stay on at the inn, to work for you in the years to come, like Uncle Smidge does, but I still will not have enough money to support Jarwin." Oaka stared at him. "I'm not going to argue with you that," he said in a half-joking way, although he didn't really mean it. "It wouldn't be fair to her, I suppose, if I were to depend on charity for the rest of my life," Basha said. "I might have a chance to support her by earning enough with other endeavors, like getting to the militia and the border guards, but still, it's not like I can get an immediate response." "What am I doing?" he asked, turning away from Oaka. People walked by him every day without more than a casual glance. They knew him, though, these townspeople of Kobaba, his friends and family. They knew him and everything about him here, or so they thought, except for what was unknown. Basha had no proof that he was not a Balnor. He had only his birth mother's word, and she was not alive to tell others of his birth father. If only she had lived and told them. If only she had not died. If only he had not been born at all. Basha felt that way sometimes.